Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing in a crypto or Web3 marketplace project from Figma into Lovable. We're going to be basically editing everything in Lovable, editing the design, the responsiveness, adding some new functionality into the project, adding some integrations, and then at the end, deploying the project right into GitHub and then into Netlify, so that at the end we can add it to our own custom domain, right? So that's from zero to hero, basically from Figma to finished web app using Lovable and a few other tools. So if that's interesting for you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we want to do is obviously have a Figma project, right? In this case, I'm using Anima's NFT marketplace template. So shout out to Anima for creating this. I didn't create this. And you can already start seeing that this particular project is built with, auto layout. It has components already. It's a very organized file. And this is perfect for bringing in projects into Lovable, because if you don't add these auto layouts, it's not going to really be so responsive, right? So that's a great thing that this particular template has. Now, if we go into Lovable, you can see here that there's this little Figma icon with the import button. And if you click this, it says import from Figma, use the builder.io Figma plugin. So if I click this, it takes me to this link, which is basically a plugin that I've already, downloaded. I already have it in my Figma. But if you don't, I would just go here and open it in your Figma. And it says select a frame using auto layout and use export to code, then Lovable. All right, so let's just go ahead and do that. So if I go back here, what I do is I just click on this home page. This is like the main desktop page that we want. And I just go up to my plugins, and you guys can't see it, but I have builder.io over here. And then I click on builder.io, and you can see it's right here. It actually says large selection detected, quality degrades for smaller selections larger than 3000 pixels. So it's important to keep it at a smaller size instead of such a large size. So I just decreased the size of this frame a bit to just show up to here. We can do that as well. We can probably even delete some things that we don't really need. We might want to keep the footer, so we can just keep it like something like this, hug contents, and select this again. It's still a little bit too big. We can delete a row, right? And now we can export the design, right? So let's click on export design, and that's going to take about a couple of seconds to do, but yeah, you just got to sit and wait. And then once it starts finishing here, you just can go and click here, open in Lovable, and it's gonna basically analyze the exported code. It gave me like 3 designs to choose from, because I guess it like analyzed the design, and then some of the designs were different. I chose the first one, which kind of looked like the original one. And then, yeah, after about a minute or two, we basically have this opening up in Lovable. It automatically opened. Again, I did not touch anything. Once it started, loading everything in that builder.io plugin, it basically finished and opened this up. And yeah, as you can see, about maybe 20 seconds to kind of open this up officially in Lovable, but we have something looking exactly like what we had in our Figma design. And if I were to click this, we do also have something responsive. It is not quite responsive. As you can see, this nav bar is not quite responsive. I would like that more in a kind of hamburger menu type of style. But I do like this. There's some things that need adjusting, but overall it's looking pretty cool, right? So I added a new prompt called, it's saying, please make the navigation bar responsive. It must have a hamburger menu in the mobile version. And on the mobile version, the creator cards, so basically these cards should just go on 1 column rather than 2, right? Because before it was going on 2 columns, and it was kind of tiny for a mobile view. And so now we're asking Lovable to put it just on 1 column. So just in that one prompt, it kind of added this hamburger menu. It's looking great, but it should be on the right. It shouldn't be below the logo. So that's another thing that we have to kind of fix and basically fix this, which is great, right? So let's go ahead and add these new comments. So I just added these new corrections and it did fix this. I told it to please place a hamburger menu on the right and not below the logo. And for the mobile version, the logo should just be an icon. And in the mobile version, please reduce the space between the hero section and the trending collection section. So I asked it to reduce the space. It did it, but it's still kind of big, the space here. But what we can do is we can just go here and click on this, and we can go ahead and maybe try to edit certain things, right? We can go, this seems to be quite big. And we can kind of check to see what we can do here. So it says height 510 pixels. Maybe we can set that down to like 30, 300, no, 400 maybe, 350. Yeah, something like that. And we can save that. And that's cool about Lovable, that you can, you can visually do these changes, right? So yeah, that's looking great. In terms of padding, everything is looking great except for this. This might need a little bit more padding and this might need less padding. So we can also go ahead and use this to kind of do that, right? So we can adjust the padding. I would say around 20 would be good for the mobile. We can save this. And then we can just go to the next section by clicking on edit and just adding that padding of around 20, clicking on save and changing that. Okay, so now we added those different changes. We can go back to the desktop view and we can start adding some special functionality to the different pages. I'm saying maybe we can add some collection pages, right? We can add some profile pages for the creators. Yeah, there's different things that we can do here, right? So we already kind of edited the design here in Lovable. And the next thing is to add certain functionality that can make our app a little bit more advanced. So now what I'm doing is I'm asking Lovable to create collection page for these collections, right? Whenever I click on this, it takes me to this whole collection page. And I'm kind of imagining it to be, basically a collection of animals or of magic mushrooms or of disco machines, right? Obviously, it's not going to really have all of their pictures because, it's not going to generate the pictures, but it's going to at least have placeholders. I'm hoping for that. And for the creators, I'm basically, creating like asked it to create a creator page where it's basically like a portfolio page for each one of these creators where you can basically read more about them and about their work. So Lovable does it correctly. So basically if we were to hover over one of these and click on this, it takes us to Mr. Fox's DSGN animals page, right? We can also go back to home and go down here and click on keep it real and basically read more about them, right? We can add more features and that's what I actually want to show you. So if we go back home, I mean, if we stay here, we could add like a kind of dashboard or how would you say, like a gallery feature, right? Where you can take a screenshot of any website you want or any design, give it to Lovable and tell them, hey, Lovable, in this creator profile page, please add this section under the about section, right? In this case, we want to go back to the index page and we want to go over here. And I would want to actually go ahead and export this as a PNG. So this is the NFT highlight section where it basically highlights an NFT and there's like some type of timer. And I want to integrate that timer and give a specific date for that timer to end. So let's go and attach this image. So we can attach this, go like this, boom, and say under the top creators, or let's say above the footer, above the footer, please add this NFT, how would we call it? NFT highlight. Section as, oh my god, my spelling today, as seen. Let's just put see the attachment. Above the footer, please add this NFT highlights section. See the attachment. The countdown timer should end in exactly 6 or let's say 9 days, right? To give it like a random amount. So it actually, you know, integrated the specific section, which is cool. It kind of, it's using this screenshot or this attached image as a background image. So that's pretty interesting to see that I can do that. Obviously you could change this image, but it has, you know, this here, it has this button, which is great, and it has this auction ends, but it didn't get this correct. So I'm just gonna, you know, double, you know, repeat myself here saying that auction should end in exactly 9 days and see how that works. Now we kind of learned how to add new pages, how to edit the design, how to add some new sections, how to fix sections and all of that. And now what we want to do is we actually want to add more advanced functionality for this app, specifically like the sign up, sign in process. Connecting a wallet would be great. So those are like more third-party integrations. But let's first do this sign up. These are integrations that are also third-party, but they are directly in sync with Lovable, meaning that you can just click here and set that up. So Supabase is basically like a backend program. I already have a Supabase account, but what you have to do is just connect it, and you can log in with Google or with your business email, and you can just connect it to a specific project that you have. In this case, I have this one, and it is connected, as simple as that, right? And now since it's connected, it's going to automatically tell Lovable, please connect my Supabase project, Lovable CRM, which was another, which is the name of my how would you say it? My project, right, in Supabase. So you can create different Supabase projects. In this case, my project is called Lovable CRM. So it says your app is now connected to Supabase. So we can do the following things. So I'm going to start and say when the user, let me just move this, when the user clicks on sign up, there should be a sign up / sign in page, right? So this would be the first step in advanced functionality. So usually when you write something like this, Lovable is going to give you like this suggestion of a code. It's going to be an SQL code, and then there's going to be a command called run SQL code. You can see that in some of my other videos, but basically whenever you see that, just run that SQL code, and it's going to create basically a database in your Supabase project, and users are going to be able to sign up. So if I were to go ahead and click on sign up, which I did right now, I can go here and write my email, right? And click on sign up, right? It says sign up successful. Please check your email for verification. And then I go up here, right? Let me just bring in my email, and it says confirm your sign up. Follow this link to confirm your email. And I just did it again. And this is basically the new email, right? So I can just go ahead and click on confirm our mail, and it's gonna lead us to some, empty page like this, but that's because we haven't really, we haven't really posted our app yet. It's not deployed, right? So that's why it's looking like this. You can also turn off this email verification system in Supabase, but that's basically how you do it to sign up. And then to sign in, we already have our email. We can just go like this, sign in, and sign in successful, right? But if I were to use a different sign-in email, like let's say jerry@gmail.com, and put in jerry1234, sign in. It says error signing in, right? So that's when you know that it's all working. Other types of advanced integrations that you can add would be connecting a wallet. So we can add, MetaMask wallet connector, Coinbase wallet, and basically integrate that connection as it's a Web3 project. And even more advanced integrations that we can add is stuff like text to image generation using tools like Runware.ai. And basically you can just sign in, right? I can sign in with my email that I used to sign up not so long ago. Go down here and then you can basically see this section. So this section is actually hidden for those that are not signed in. And basically you can just add in your API key, write something funny like a jumping llama in Thailand, right? And click on generate NFT, and it generates a jumping llama in Thailand, right? And you can basically save this and download it to your device. Now, let's say you're done, right? Obviously, in this case, there's still a lot of things missing, right? It would be cool to actually make this kind of like, in a way, your own personal NFT, add some more security to this, so on and so forth, add much more functionality to this website, add more pages and whatnot. But let's say that you're finished, right? Because today I just want to show you the process from Figma to Lovable to deploying this, right? Now what we want to do is we want to actually click on here to GitHub, connect to your GitHub, click on your profile, right? And it's going to start loading. And once it starts loading, it adds a GitHub repository in your account. And once that is added, basically what you can do is you can just view this in GitHub, and it basically looks like this. This is your whole app, right? And you can go back here, go back to GitHub. You can edit this in VS Code. So if there's some certain parts of the code that you want to edit manually, you can do that as well. Basically, it's like cloning your app. And then once you're done with that, you can go over here and commit and push these changes, and they're going to be automatically synced into Lovable and into GitHub, which is pretty cool. But let's just say we want to host it now with a custom domain. This process is quite simple, right? You go to Netlify, you open an account, and under sites, you can see here I have a bunch of sites that I've done for different types of tutorials, right? But you can go to add new site, import an existing project, click on GitHub, and then it's going to basically open a pop-up where you're authorized. You're going to have to connect your GitHub to Netlify, which you do at the very beginning, I believe. You see this one is called P14 whatever. So let's just look for that. It's right here, TypeScript. We leave this empty. We keep this in this team, branch this to deploy main, and right, we keep this like this. Click on deploy, deploying, and it's just going to take a few seconds, and then we get this screen. And then after another few seconds, I mean, this is set to yellow right now, but it's going to be set to green, and we're going to have a test domain, right? It's going to be something like this .netlify.app, right? Which is something we can use like as a private domain. But then eventually what you can do is, if you have your domain in GoDaddy or in Namecheap or something like that, you can go ahead and go to step number 2, right? So you can go over here, domain you already own, add your domain, and basically finish up the setup here. But in this case, we have it like this. Scroll down here, we can't see this part, but we can go here, sign in, use my password. I don't really remember what it was. Let's see. Perfect. We're back. Let's just ignore this. And let's go down here. We can add the API key and a running ape. Then we generate that. And then we get the running ape. There we go. So, hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial, enjoyed the whole process. This was basically from Figma to Netlify, and nowadays you can build an app so quickly, right? It's very impressive, and it's going to get even faster and even higher quality every day, right? So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions on what type of apps I can build, please leave them down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to try new things, right? So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.